We're live. Hey, everybody. It's Jill Simonian here and...
Will Witt. Howdy.
Look, it's live with Jill and Will, or Will and Jill. Who goes first?
Jill goes first.
Oh, thank you. Ladies first.
Right.
Okay. Welcome, parents, teachers, educators, grandparents. We're live today on behalf of PragerU Kids because guess what? PragerU Kids is how many years old as of last week?
1
year old as of last week. It's a big deal. And Will, in celebration of our 1 year birthday, I have a fiery piece of information that I need to share with you because we always talk about things that are happening in our schools that us parents need to be aware of. And I found a tweet yesterday that I want to show you with fresh eyes. Will has never seen this tweet before.
Really prepared.
Get prepared, gear up. Let's read the headline. Essentially, guidance counselors help fifth graders come out in America's most woke school district, what we're calling it. Okay, we are going to, thank you. There's the tweet right now. Now, this tweet is from someone by the name of Karlin Borisenko. I hope that I pronounced that correctly. On February 8th, 2022, teachers in the Burlington, Vermont school district hosted a webinar called Let's Talk About Gender Identity and Expression. They discussed the gender unicorn to middle school students. Let's take a look at the video, Will. And I want you to react. No audio?
Wait.
No audio.
What happened? Yeah, it's unmuted on Twitter.
Okay. Well, we got no audio, but as we figure out the technical difficulties, essentially what this was, do we have audio now?
Not yet.
Not yet at all?
Jump in here.
No, at all for me and Will?
No, for you guys.
Oh, for we. Okay, good. If you're watching live, weigh in the comments and say if you like this impromptu comedy that we're giving you right now.
Of course they
but
like
essentially,
it. This is the best live they've ever experienced.
Essentially what this video was is it looked like it was a virtual conference between teachers and students, guidance counselors and students talking about gender identity. Who knows if there were even parents on this virtual conference that was happening at this school, but in more and more school districts, as we see, and there's a whole Twitter thread, which I'm going to show. There's a whole Twitter thread. Oh, wait, we can't do that. There's a whole Twitter thread that shows very, very sensitive, age-inappropriate conversations happening between teachers and students. And this is happening across the country. Even if you don't think it's happening in your neck of the woods, I hate to guarantee that it most likely is. But there's a Twitter. Hold on, I want to see. Can we go to the thing? No, he's getting the audio. Can I go? Can I go to the? Can I show it? Test it out. Okay, we're gonna test it out again. Here we go. We're gonna test it out and see if we can watch this video.
Still nothing.
Still nothing. Oh man. Okay, so what's going on in the most woke school district in America? Let's go ahead and just scroll down. The link to this Twitter thread will be in the comments, so you guys can all look. Burlington, Vermont School District hosted a webinar called Let's Talk About Gender Identity. Let's see. In the same webinar, the administrators and representatives from their district equity office have students introduce themselves with pronouns. Again, let's think about this. Middle schoolers are 11, 12, 13 years old. Their goal was to center the voices of the students in their discussion of gender. Again, no parents were shown or heard on any of these videos. So in this clip, a school counselor asked the students how administrators could handle it if someone misgenders the students. I've watched all these videos, Will, and I was just so disappointed and just, it's like we see things like this all the time, but the more I see these, the more surprised I really am as a parent that this is happening.
I'm not surprised whatsoever because this is how the left acts, and these people should just admit that they want to sexually assault children because that's what they want to do, and that's what they are continuing to do. These people are sick. Like when you think about a child and you think about what they're thinking about, there is no 5-year-old child who is having these thoughts about their sexuality and gayness and trans whatever. Mm-hmm. All it is people pushing it on them. Mm-hmm. That is why the rates are so high. It's not because people are more open to being able to say these things now. It's because they are pushing these ideologies onto people, onto little kids, because Who else is going to believe these ideas? You brainwash them young so that when they grow up, they have these terrible leftist ideas. But this is what the left does. They destroy everything.
Well, and it's, dare I say, I use that word abusive, but it's very abusive to that. I mean, you remember how junior high was. I remember how junior high was.
I don't want to remember how junior high was. It was terrible.
Everything is confusing in junior high. You're trying to figure out who you are, what you're about, all of this stuff. You're going through very, very different changes in your mind and your body as a preteen. And even, it's like I have a daughter who's 11 years old, and, sometimes she's moody, she's cranky, all of these normal things that a preteen is going through. And to take advantage of that without parents present in the atmosphere of a school conference, so to speak, with guidance counselors who are supposed to be guiding these students academically, it's really abusive. And it's taking advantage of these kids who are in this very delicate stage of life. And the more we realize what's happening as parents, it feels wrong because no one wants to be that helicopter parent where we're like, what's going on at school and what are you doing? And but we're at that point where we really need to be, because when we see things happening that are exemplified in these tweets, it really is terrifying. And if we go down, can you scroll down a little bit? The conference continued with guidance counselors talking about white supremacy culture, white silence is violence, all of these things. And it's just, it's so sad. It's so sad. It really is. Keep scrolling down. This Twitter thread goes on and on and on with what this Carlin has exposed. Oh, go to that video right there. So this video, if you guys click on the link, the one that shows all of the students standing against the brick wall, they are making demands to their teachers.
What demands?
Demands such as treat me with respect, don't punish us if we misbehave. If we misbehave in the classroom and you send us outside, you're denying us of an education. I mean, since when do children dictate what is behavior appropriate, academically appropriate? This ideology is also, not only is it taking advantage of these kids, the malleability of their mind, but it's also provoking them to be these radical activists in superseding the authority that they should be listening to at school.
Well, the authority is not even just because it's the parents that are telling them, or not the parents, it's the administrators and the teachers that are telling them to act this way, to say that this is all okay. And then you saw earlier in this thread, it's talking about the parents in this situation, and you are circumventing the parents and letting the state now be the sole arbiter of your child's education, of them growing up and developing skills. So it's really the communist plan. I mean, you own nothing. Real now means you have no children, and the children are owned by the schools. They're owned by the state, and they're the ones who influence their values. I just always find it so funny that people say, like, let's say for me personally, when I have kids, who knows, soon, you have kids, and it's like, I want to teach them Christian values. I want to teach them godly values, conservative values, and people say, oh, you're teaching your kids religion? You're indoctrinating your kids. You're brainwashing your kids. And it's like, oh, you're sending your kid to public school, and now your kid is trans, and it's like because your teacher pushed it on him? Like, that's what it's like. I would much rather be the person teaching my kids good values than be sent to some loony school to learn something.
To honor your parents, honor thy mother and thy father. I mean, these are basic values. And another thing that I want to point out in this video, and I want you guys to just, if you look at the thread, look at this video. In this video in particular,
same one?
we know that the schools are trying to insert a wedge between the child and the parent to really to separate the child from the parent. But what this video is also showing is that the school is also inserting a wedge between the children and the teachers. So it's turning these kids not only against their parents at home, like, oh, my parent doesn't affirm my gender identity type of a thing, but they're also turning the kids against the teachers in prompting these kids to say things like, if I misbehave in a classroom, you have no right to reprimand me, or you have no right to, serve me any consequences because I've misbehaved in your classroom. So it's really scary.
But isn't that indicative of the world that we live in, where people don't have to take consequences for their actions?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of why we are in the state that we are in America, because young people have felt like they never have had to take consequences, because if you fail, you get a trophy for it.
Yeah.
Instead of, I was on this podcast on Friday back in Florida, this PBD podcast, and there was this woman called in, this mom, and she said, I'm trying to raise young boys. What is the best piece of advice that you can give me for raising these boys? And I said, let them fail. You have to let them fail.
Yeah.
Because if they don't fail and then have to learn from the mistakes that they make, then they're never going to be great people. If these people can just get away, these children can get away with whatever they want and not have to fail and learn from their mistakes, then they're going to be weak people, and they'll never be real men. They'll never be real strong women. You have to be able to be held accountable for your actions and make those mistakes and not be worried about making those failures.
Yeah.
So, but this is this cushy culture, and the kids get to decide what the parent does, and it's
Not in my house.
not in my house,
And
brother.
not in his house either.
No.
The future house.
No.
Not in my current house, not in his future house.
Right. My dog
Okay,
knows.
the dog knows.
Yeah.
Okay, so enough doom and gloom. I don't know. How do we look at comments? Are we able to look at comments? Let's see if any of you have any comments. Oh, I don't have it pulled up. This is what, you guys, we are going old school, bare bones, going live. Look, we got one camera today, wheels on the computer. I've been charged with doing technical things, which is never a good idea.
That's
But
okay.
what I want to do now is to...
Conservative said PragerU and woke. How did we go woke? Conservative, tell me.
How did
I will
we go
answer you right now.
woke? We didn't go woke.
Oh,
We're
we got it on the
talking
phone?
about the...
That works too.
Thank you. God bless Taylor. Any comments?
Sorry.
From our Facebook crowd. There's
What'd
a
you
lot
say?
of comments.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's watch the ad. What I want to do is leave this doom and gloom exposition of what was happening in this Burlington, Vermont school district. I want to shift it now to something hopeful. PragerU Kids, as I mentioned at the top, has been around for 1 year. We've got, I think, almost 115 books, magazines, shows for kids kindergarten through 12th grade, really serving to counteract all of this woke agenda that's in our schools. We want to give our kids the values, the fundamental shared knowledge about who America is, what we stand for, freedom, responsibility, consequences if they are in fact warranted. And we have a new ad that showcases PragerU Kids, and my own children have watched this ad several times because they just get the biggest kick out of it. And you're going to see this ad running on many of your favorite television news networks. So let's play the ad. Oh, do we have audio for the ad? Oh, I certainly hope so. Okay, we're going to try it.
No audio.
No audio for the ad?
No audio on the ad.
Oh my gosh.
In the description, they can watch it.
It's in the description. The ad is in the description, and you can
Wouldn't you
watch
rather
it.
just hear Jill describe it to you?
This is what you call, this is a test of if we know how to go live or not. The funniest line in this ad, and that shows the frame of this kid right here. This kid right here. The famous line is,
This looks like
"Hey,
music,
Mom, Dad, did you know America is racist?" And it goes through this whole thought process of the parents and, oh, I had this baby and how did he become racist and blah, 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 blah. And it's all the stuff that he's being taught in schools. And then George Washington comes in, turns the whole dinner table upside down, and the kid turns into a freedom fighter. And it is such a cute ad. And it is just, there's so much truth in it. And it's obviously a commercial for PragerU Kids to get you to subscribe and to just reaffirm that we are here for you to give parents and teachers the tools.
Anyone who watched Tucker last night might have seen the...
Yes.
You might have also seen my fiance. She was on Tucker too. Just
She
saying.
was?
Yeah, she was on Tucker too, talking about Hungary.
Oh.
Yeah, it was great. But you might have also seen our ad, which I heard too when I was
What were
watching
we
it.
talking about again?
The
Yeah, what were we talking about
fiance,
again? I
the
don't remember.
fiance first,
Yeah.
and
No,
then
listen,
the PragerU
fiance
Kids
first,
ad.
America second, PragerU third. That's
I'm
the
very
trifecta.
disappointed that we did not get to watch this ad, but watch the ad. Join us at PragerU Kids, PragerUKids.com. Join us. Will, any parting words for the parents or educators in the group? Stay strong, I say.
Yeah, all of these things. No matter how minuscule it might seem to you or how small of a thing that, you might have heard happening at your school, investigate everything and then talk about everything to your school, to your district, because you might
To
just
your
hear,
children.
To your children as well, because you might just hear one thing, but you have no idea what's actually happening behind the scenes, even more what these sickos are doing. And also talking to your children. A lot of this stuff
Every
is
day.
a responsibility on the parents. You have to be the responsibility for your own children.
Every day.
Exactly.
5
every
minutes
day.
a day. That's my rule. 5 minutes a day at least, and then it usually spins into like 10 or
Right.
15 minutes, and then they say, Mom, we get it.
Right.
So with that, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being very gracious with our technical difficulties. Give us a grade. Is this like a C+ today?
Yeah, maybe lower than that. I don't know if we passed, but it's okay.
It was technical difficulties. Thank you. Stay strong. Join us at PragerU Kids. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.